Hello, beautiful people. I'm Fox, the technical evangelist at Losant. Welcome to the May edition of This Month in Things. Every month, we try to bring some interesting and important information you need on IoT. It's always quick, useful, and informative. Let's dive in. The European Commission is trying to define communication standards for smart cars. The conversation seems to be centered around car-to-car and car-to-infrastructure communication. The decision is between a Wi-Fi or a 5G-based standard. What's interesting is that the EU lawmakers want to back the Wi-Fi based standard, and it's really an old versus new argument. Wi-Fi is a current networking standard and widely adopted, but it wasn't built for this use case. On the other hand, you have the shiny new 5G that's built with these use cases in mind, but not just limited to car or car to infrastructure. You can do things like car to cloud, which is extremely powerful. In fact, the standard is actually called cellular vehicle to everything. But the downside is 5G isn't widely adopted yet. The European Commission hasn't made the final decision, but they're supposed to be voting on it soon. A couple of years ago, Mozilla announced a new project called Project Things. The goal was to build a new type of IoT smart home gateway, all powered by web technologies. I've been keeping my eye on this project, and it's come a long way since inception. They have since given it a more official name, Mozilla Web Things. What's nice is that this is something you can go and install and use today on a Raspberry Pi. In the announcement, the creator mentioned that they look forward to a future where this Things Gateway is even installed on commercial products. Google I/O happened this past month. The surprising thing was that Google didn't make too many IoT announcements. The biggest is that all the Google smart home stuff will now be rebranded under the Google Nest brand. They released a new bigger hub called the Nest Hub Max. What's really cool is that along with this, they released a new API called the Interactive Canvas. It allows developers to build a visual component to their Google Actions, and more importantly, display things on the Nest Hubs, which opens the door for many new types of applications that can be built. Right now, as a little IoT gets installed in more and more everyday devices, chip makers like Qualcomm and Intel benefit greatly. It looks like Samsung is also going to join the party. They plan to invest $116 billion through 2030 into the semiconductor space. While this would allow them to make chips and hardware for their phones, kind of like Apple does now, they will also be able to make processors needed for many IoT devices. And since Samsung has SmartThings, I'm sure the future smart home devices that have Samsung chips will benefit from this ecosystem greatly. Earlier this year, in some leaked documents, the FCC was reported to have plans to roll out their own 5G network to compete with wireless carriers like AT&T and Verizon. However, the FCC assured that this is not the case. The plan as of now is for the government to get out of the way. They're auctioning off chunks of radio waves to be used by the wireless carriers. They're making some policy changes to make 5G rollouts easier, and also proposing a $20 billion fund to support the build out in rural areas, because right now the carriers aren't really incentivized to build in those areas. That is all for this month. If you have some good stories for us, let us know on Twitter. For now, make sure you like and subscribe to stay tuned into IoT. Until next time, stay connected.